how much money does it take to start your dropshipping business? So I'm going to be diving into the computer for this video just to go over everything that it costs to go through the payment plans. So I will see you in the computer. All right, guys. So you want to start your dropshipping store, but you're not sure how much money it's really going to cost you. I'm going to be diving in and showing you exactly how much you'll actually need to get started. And what I always say is the number one reason why I really love dropshipping, especially for beginning entrepreneurs, is how little it really does take to get started. You can get started with Shopify cheaper than any sort of business model. And of course, with businesses, there are risks involved. There are some hurdles that you have to cross, some risks that you have to take in order to be successful or to risk it. But with dropshipping, it really does minimize this risk. So let's dive in. The first things first is you're going to need a Shopify plan. Click the link below. I drop a 2-week free trial for Shopify, so that way you can get your feet wet with customizing the store, and you don't even need to enter a credit card at first until you want to open the store. So when we get into plans, we see we have the basic Shopify, which is $29 a month. This is really all you need. You don't need an advanced Shopify. You don't really need the higher end Shopify unless you're really either pushing these numbers or you need a certain amount of staff accounts for your virtual assistants. But that is so much later. That's when you get your store running passively. So you have to figure you'll need $29 for your basic Shopify. This covers basically everything you need. As you can see, the only other money that you will be, obviously spending is on your orders themselves. Just the credit card rate is 2.9% plus 30 cents. And as you can see, even with the advanced Shopify, you're saving like 0.5% on just having an advanced Shopify. It really doesn't make a difference. So I always say to use the basic Shopify at first. And this proves to be very effective, and it comes with basically everything you need. So that's super great. Once you get the Shopify going, you obviously have that 2-week free trial and then the $29. The next thing that you will need is a domain name. So for the domain name, we have Google Domains over here. That's what I like to use. I find it to be the cheapest. Obviously, you can purchase the domain through Shopify, but they charge a little bit extra because they take kind of a share out of how much they're charging you because you're going through them. The only difference with buying a domain outside of Shopify is you'll save a few dollars a year. The only thing that you'll have to do is obviously link it, but they give a pretty easy explanation and how to connect that domain name to Shopify. So, what I always like to say with choosing the domain name is obviously find something, for $12 and do a .com name. You don't necessarily need this, but you actually really do. And the reason why you do is because it builds that kind of brand credibility that you'll need. Nobody wants to buy something or prove it if it's just a .my Shopify store. So if you don't buy this domain name and you are paying the $29, you'll have your store. It'll say, let's just say it's just timepieces.myshopify.com. Just sounds better to have, the timepieceshop.com. It's easier for people to remember to go back to, and it just kind of ensures your credibility as a brand as a whole. So the other thing that you will need, and I totally recommend doing this, is Oberlo. This kind of streamlines everything you will need for, fulfilling orders, managing how much you're making on an order, actually finding the orders, getting the suppliers real easy, and hooking up the products to your site. And the beauty of Oberlo is that it is completely free at first until you start pushing those orders. So let's go into the pricing here. With Oberlo, you can see you start at $0 a month. You can have up to 500 products and 50 orders a month. So it pretty much covers your entire startup cost, which is super awesome. And you can really dive into learning exactly how Oberlo works and how easy it is to use with syncing those orders, uploading the tracking numbers, and fulfilling these orders for actually nothing a month. Although now, once you are making these orders, you're pushing products, you're selling a couple hundred orders a month, it does cost $29.90. However, what I always say is with Oberlo, $29 at 500 orders, at that point, it'll just kind of be a business expense because you're already bringing in the money. It's not something that you'll actually have to put up front. So Oberlo is absolutely free up front. You don't even have to worry about using the money. Now, a question I get, and a lot of people are confused, is about the products themselves. How much is it going to cost me? And that's kind of the beauty of dropshipping. Basically, when you're starting off, you're not going to have to spend money on, the product itself. You're not going to have to do what you do with Amazon FBA, where you have to purchase a ton of products up front, ship it to a fulfillment center, all that fun stuff. You don't have to worry about that. There's literally no risk in the product itself. The only risk is going to be on the marketing, and that brings us to our last step. And the thing with marketing is there is no set price for marketing. What I always like to do is, depending on you, kind of figure a budget that you want to personally work with in the beginning. So if you want to say, I'm going to set aside, $100 towards marketing, $200, $300 towards marketing, set that aside and know that's what you're going to spend. So you don't just get yourself into too deep of a hole and realize, oh shit, I spent $1,000 on marketing, blah, blah, blah. Say, okay, I want to spend, $100, $200, see with this product and testing it. Per product, you want to set aside a marketing budget. And what I always like to say, to get your feet wet is kind of contact these influencers, kind of see, okay, if it's going to cost me, $40 to get a post up, $50 to get a post up, I can test the product. I can see if this market, if this product fits the need of this market. And, this is something that can range. If you have a ton of money and you really want to make, thousands of dollars really fast, you can hit up, some of these influencers that charge $300, $400 for a post to 2 million, 3 million followers, and really start to see the traction if you're sure the product will work. And in that case, you can set aside, $200, $300 for marketing on top. And setting aside that amount of money on marketing, you'll realize that the startup cost is literally less than a few $100s. And that is kind of the beauty of this business, is that you won't have to set aside, thousands of dollars to create this. You can literally have a store up within the first week, 2 weeks for just the $12 domain name. And that's it. You won't be spending any more money. Now, there are apps that you can get inside of Shopify that do. However, you can literally find these apps for free at first. And what I always like to say is that you want to be a lean machine with dropshipping at first. You want to spend as little as possible except for on marketing and actually pushing your products. As long as you know how to set up the store back end, you have those plans set up, you will be fine. So, like always, guys, drop a comment below for any questions, give a thumbs up, and click that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video.